I'm here to guide you through the best of Gambia. Here's what to know before you go. The river comes first in the Gambia. It carves a shining path from the Atlantic into the heart of West Africa, wide at the mouth where trawlers ride the swell and narrow inland, where mangroves braid the banks and kingfishers flash like pieces of sky. Every story here begins with water. The tides tugging at the coastline, the piers of Banjul lifting into the sea breeze, pirogues rocking where fishermen unload their catch at Tanji, and the faithful ferry carrying cars, goats, and laughter between Banjul and Bara. The Gambia is the smallest country on mainland Africa, a ribbon of land wrapped around this waterway and embraced on three sides by Senegal, yet it contains a richness that far outgrows its map. Languages and lineages, songs and markets, forest and savanna, and a history that flows as steadily as the current itself. Long before borders were drawn, the river was a road. Mandinka and Fula herders knew its dry season banks. The Wolof and Jola told stories under silk cotton trees, and traders guided salt, cola nuts, cloth, and iron along its length. The lands that form today's Gambia were once part of the Mali Empire, which spread culture, commerce, and Islam deep into West Africa. Later, the Kabu kingdom rose here, its warriors remembered in oral history for their strength. But kingdoms faltered, leaving legacies in song, clan traditions, and settlement patterns. The Portuguese arrived first, followed by the English and French. Forts appeared on bends of the river, some of which became grim gateways to the Atlantic slave trade. Kunta Kinteh Island, once called James Island, stands as a painful reminder of that era. Captives were held there before being shipped across the ocean, yet alongside sorrow there was resistance. Stories tell of those who leapt into the river rather than accept slavery, of communities hiding people deep in the forests, and of griots encoding memory in song so descendants could reclaim their past. Time made witnesses of stones and mangroves. The river kept flowing, but it remembered. By the late 19th century, the Gambia was a British colony, a thin slice of land along the river while Senegal around it remained French. Out of this narrow strip rose a resilient people who claimed independence in 1965 under Sir Dawda Jawara. For nearly 3 decades, Jawara guided the nation until 1994, when Yahya Jammeh seized power in a coup. Jammeh's 22-year rule brought authoritarianism and fear, yet Gambians kept their humor, music, and storytelling. In 2016, a peaceful vote ended his rule, and Adama Barrow took office in a democratic transition that surprised the world. Through all this, the river remained the lifeline, feeding fishermen, farmers, and market traders. Along its banks, Islam and Christianity share space with drumming and praise. Griots tune the kora and keep names of ancestors alive. Modern Gambia became known not for wealth, but for grace. The easy, no-problem cadence of greetings, the way strangers are folded into conversation like millet into porridge, and the certainty that a pot of attaya tea and patient words can solve more than anger ever could. Arrive in Banjul and you find a modest port town with sandy streets, the tang of salt, and taxis weaving their rhythm. The capital is small but purposeful. Ministries, offices, and the wonder of Albert Market, where bolts of wax print cloth glow like stained glass. Nearby, Arch 22 curves like a concrete wave above the city. Across the estuary, the resort coast stretches with beaches at Kololi, Kotu, Cape Point, and Sanyang, where wooden boats paint the sand with blues and reds. Early mornings carry the sound of pestles and blenders, turning baobab and hibiscus into chilled drinks. Evenings are for grilled fish, limes, and drifting music, mbalaks from a bar, akora's notes from the shadows. Yet the coast is only one chapter. Inland, Abuko Nature Reserve is a ribbon of green where monkeys swing, herons stand still, and hornbills announce themselves like town officials. At Bajilo Forest Park, the ocean sighs on one side, and vervet monkeys tilt their heads in the trees. South at Tanji Bird Reserve, sandbars and lagoons host clouds of gulls, terns, and waders that rise together like a moving sky. Follow the river inland, and the country lengthens. At Makasutu Culture Forest, the mangroves breathe with the tides, and oyster women wade waist-deep to gather shellfish. Kiang West National Park lies savanna, thorn trees, and warthogs crossing the dust. Past Janjanburi lies Kunta Kinteh Island, small and heavy with memory. Ruined walls and cannons stare at horizons. The water curls protectively around a place once used to send people into slavery. To walk there is to hear the river whisper history. Farther north, the Wassu stone circles stand like a silent choir, red laterite columns marking burial grounds that predate written memory. Walk among them at dusk, and it feels as if the stones listen back. Culture is lived here, not performed. In village courtyards, griots cradle koras and send histories into the air. Drums answer with rhythms the feet understand. Dancers catch the meaning mid-step. Jaliba Kuyate, the country's kora maestro, has carried Gambian music across the world. During initiations, the Kankurang masquerade arrives in bark and fiber, guarding the young with spirit and ceremony. Festivals like Tabaski, Independence Day parades, and the Roots Festival tie modern Gambia to its ancestry. Serekunda, larger than Banjul, hums with taxis, markets, and neighborhoods that stretch like surf. In Bakau, the Kachikali pool shimmers with crocodiles believed to bless fertility, while Lamin Lodge stands on stilts above a mangrove creek where boats nap at low tide. Food ties the country together. Damoda, a peanut stew, brings courtyards to a standstill. Benichin, a cousin to jollof rice, is cooked in one pot with fish, rice, and vegetables. Afra grills sizzle by the roadside, and Yasa tangles chicken with lemon and onion. After meals, attaya tea is brewed 3 times. 1 glass for strength, 1 for friendship, 1 for love. Each slower, each sweeter, designed to keep conversation alive. The Gambia's surprises often hide in small details. English is the official language, but more than half a dozen are spoken daily. Islam shapes the week, but churches fill with song on Sunday. Its borders make it one of the narrowest countries in the world, sometimes only 30 kilometers wide. The currency sings with names, Dalasi and Bututs, and the nation insists on its capital, the, a quirk that delights locals when foreigners stumble over it. Wildlife adds to the wonder. Dolphins roll under the ferry's wake, hippos lift like islands in the river, and manatees linger in its bends. Chimpanzees thrive on islands in River Gambia National Park, where boats pause as the apes stare back with curiosity. In the canopy above, fish eagles call like doors closing gently. The past lingers. Museums in Banjul and island towns show shackles and manifests beside praise songs and baskets. School children learn of explorers and also of the resistance that kept names and prayers alive. Every year, members of the African diaspora visit Kunta Kinteh Island to trace family lines and stand where ancestors once stood. The future moves with river logic, never rushing, never still. Roads improve, phone coverage spreads, mangroves are replanted. Young entrepreneurs design apps, artists weave recycled plastic into crafts, musicians blend traditional kora with modern beats. The Gambia's power lies not in monuments, but in its way of life, courtesy, curiosity, and optimism that tomorrow can be better. If you listen, the country will teach you how to be a good guest. Greet fully, sit when tea is offered, ask for a story and give one in return. Walk the beach early with the fishermen, shop in markets with a flexible plan, let the forest hum around you, and take the ferry even if there's a bridge ahead. In the end, the Gambia is a small country with a wide heart. Its river draws a line you can follow with your finger and with your life if you choose to linger. Its people will remember your name and expect you to remember theirs. Its birds add color to your memory. Its food teaches comfort you didn't know you needed, and its coast, smiling because the nickname is true, will send you away with light on your skin. If you leave by boat at dusk, the mangroves hold their secrets, the fishermen's voices drift across the water, and the ferry horn says goodnight in a language everyone understands. The river, as always, goes on telling its story. The Gambia, as always, invites you to listen, to learn, and to smile back. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe for more.